I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right.
So it seems like the truth about Diddy's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein is finally out, and it's safe to say that he's done for. But how did it even get to this point? Imagine being hip-hop royalty for decades, swimming in fame, fashion, and fortune, and then out of nowhere the entire empire starts crumbling like a bad wig in humidity. That's exactly what's happening to Sean Diddy Combs. Once the boss of all bosses, this music mogul is now in the middle of a legal nightmare, and trust us, the mess is messier than you think. Back in March 2024, the drama kicked off with federal agents rolling up to Diddy's homes. They weren't just snooping around either, they raided the place. And ever since that day, the legal floodgates have been wide open. Fast forward to September 2024, and Diddy got hit with charges that sound like they were ripped from a true crime podcast. We're talking major racketeering and many other highly disturbing accusations. And not just 1 or 2 counts, this man's been accused of orchestrating an entire criminal ring. Allegedly, he turned his record label into a front for what prosecutors claim were very inappropriate gatherings. And this wasn't your regular after party kind of scene. They even had a name, Freak-Offs. But here's the twist, he pled not guilty. Despite the pile of allegations and the mountain of evidence still growing, Diddy says he didn't do it.
I think that we all have to be honest with ourselves as adults and people that have been in relationships. We know sometimes those relationships get ugly, and sometimes it doesn't come out into the forefront.
Exact dialogue. Yet there he is sitting in jail with no bail, while the court case unfolds in Manhattan like a soap opera with better suits. Now, this next part's wild. Prosecutors have lined up at least 5 federal charges against him. These include a conspiracy charge and 4 counts tied to illegal activities and moving people for these said activities. If he's convicted, we're talking years or even decades locked up. And just when you think this couldn't get any worse, the trial's already on the calendar. Jury selection is already in motion, and every new witness who steps up and every piece of evidence that drops adds another layer to this chaotic saga. But hold on, because the criminal stuff is just the beginning. Let's talk about the civil lawsuits. According to NPR, after Diddy got slapped with criminal charges, over 24 women stepped forward. These aren't just vague accusations either. These are very serious claims going back years and even decades. Now, let's talk about the name that really shook the internet, Cassie Ventura. She was his ex-girlfriend who dropped her lawsuit back in 2023, claiming Diddy acted very inappropriately with her. But here's where it gets strange. Within hours of filing, the case was settled for $20 million. That kind of hush money screams, there's more to this story, doesn't it? But wait, there's more. That Cassie case wasn't just some quiet backroom deal. According to insiders, it actually sparked a bigger investigation that helped launch the whole federal case we're watching now. So basically, her settlement might have been the domino that knocked over Diddy's entire game. And it didn't stop there. Other women came forward. A male music producer even joined the mix, claiming he too was coerced into Diddy's parties. Diddy's team, naturally, is claiming that all of these are lies and extortion. They've called the claims ridiculous and completely made up. But when you've got dozens of people saying similar things, the internet isn't convinced. One fact checker put it best. It's not just a mess, it's a tangled web. And that web is starting to strangle what's left of Diddy's public image. Now, let's really zoom in on the lawsuits. By the time 2024 hit, Diddy's legal calendar was straight up chaos. According to the Washington Post, at least 63 people had come out with accusations. Civil suits were being filed faster than you can even imagine. One name that stands out in that pile is Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a music producer who dropped a lawsuit in February 2024. He claimed Diddy pressured him into some disturbing activities repeatedly and tormented him for over a year. Jones says he's got receipts, including videos and audio recordings of illegal stuff happening at Diddy's homes. That alone could be a whole Netflix series. Diddy's lawyers clapped back fast, saying Jones was just thirsty for clout and spinning wild fiction, but the legal drama didn't slow down. More lawsuits poured in. Joey Dickerson Neal, a former college student, filed her case in late 2023. Then anonymous plaintiffs started showing up with stories going back to the early 2000s. At this point, it was an avalanche. NPR called it a modern-day number Me Too storm, but this time with legal documents, subpoenaed contracts, and guest lists from some very infamous yacht parties. And yes, people are actually testifying about what they saw at those parties. The guest list alone could fill a Hollywood red carpet. Things hit a whole new level of seriousness in March 2024 when federal agents raided Diddy's homes in both Florida and California. This wasn't just a regular pop-in. It was a coordinated search that screamed, "We've been watching for a while." And suddenly it became clear, this was bigger than anyone thought. According to reports, the agents weren't just looking for gossip. In fact, they were building a real case. The indictment that followed wasn't only about women, but also minors.
Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing.
And let's not forget the footage. One clip that made headlines was the security camera footage allegedly showing Diddy kicking Cassie in a hotel hallway. Things have gotten really serious after this point. May 2025 brought opening statements that could chill even the boldest bad boy fan. Prosecutors stood tall, claiming that Diddy wasn't just a music mogul, he was allegedly the ringmaster of a disturbing operation disguised under glitz and glamour. Behind the shades and champagne was, according to them, a carefully constructed pattern. And it gets darker. Prosecutors say he filmed these freak-off sessions, sometimes with consent and sometimes not so much.
What happens? Now you threw a house party and I got the footage, okay? Look at this. Now, who has this many people at their house? Puff and or Sean, Diddy, Doody?
One attorney didn't hold back and flat out told the jury, to the world, he was Puff Daddy. But behind closed doors, let's just say the courtroom collectively held its breath. Now here's where the drama turns personal. Cassie, Diddy's ex, took the stand, and she did not come to play. She described those infamous parties, the manipulation, and the power games. But the plot twist was that during cross-examination, Diddy's defense hit her with her own receipts. They made her read explicit texts she'd sent back in 2017. One read, "Wish we could have phoned before you left. For the uninitiated, FO equals freak off." In other words, she seemed into it, at least back then. So what gives? Cassie insists that her excitement in those texts wasn't as simple as it looked. According to her, there was coercion, manipulation, and emotional entrapment. Basically, she was wrapped so tight in Diddy's world that saying no didn't feel like an option. Diddy's legal team, of course, says everything was consensual. Their stance is that he's not a predator. He's a victim of the internet's favorite sport, public misinformation. They're painting the whole circus as a smear campaign, but the prosecutors aren't buying it. They say those texts don't show freedom, they show strategy. That Diddy knew how to keep people close, either with promises of fame or threats of leaked footage. And then came the gasp heard round the courtroom. Prosecutors compared the case's vibe to the Epstein situation. Yes, that Epstein. And guess who's in the mix? Maureen Comey. If that name sounds familiar, it should. She helped bring down Ghislaine Maxwell. She's now working on Diddy's case. Does that sound like a coincidence? The court says yes. Sure, there's no direct link between Diddy and Epstein, but only legally. The insinuation hangs heavy in the room. The government says this isn't about internet rabbit holes. It's about whether Diddy really ran those disturbing freak-off gatherings like a puppet master pulling strings. The defense denies it, claiming these are just fame chasers hoping for a payday, and courtroom tension is off the charts. At one hearing, Diddy tried to stop the prosecutors from using notes taken from his jail cell, but the judge denied it and said it didn't break any privacy laws. So now even his scribbled thoughts are fair game. You know it's getting messy when your post-it notes might be Exhibit A, but believe it or not, there are some more crazy developments that you still don't know about and will leave you baffled. And it's a $100 million meltdown between Diddy and NBC. Now, while NBC is busy fighting criminal charges, Diddy's pulling a surprise move and throwing legal punches of his own. He's suing NBC Universal, Peacock, and the folks behind a little TV documentary called Diddy: The Making of a Bad Boy. And he's coming for them with a cool $100 million defamation lawsuit. Why? Because Diddy claims they painted him like some kind of horror villain. His team says the doc flat out portrayed him as the worst kind of man to exist on this earth. They even allege the show called him Lucifer in human form. According to them, that's the kind of character you'd expect in a Netflix thriller, not real life. According to court documents, the documentary dragged in names like the Notorious Big and Kim Porter, and they're all people close to Diddy who are now deceased. The documentary allegedly made suggestive claims tying their deaths to him. Diddy says it's all slander, plain and simple. There's no evidence, just gossip parading as journalism.
You have to understand me. I'm self-made. I come from just putting $2 together, $2 together, just things that were just, really painting houses.
Yeah.
NBC and Peacock are keeping it zip, not a peep from them. But Diddy's side is coming in hot, accusing the network of going for shock value just to boost ratings. One of his lawyers even said in court that NBC chose profit over truth. This whole thing opens a question for the rest of us. What's real, what's hype, and who's actually controlling the narrative? Diddy's lawsuit isn't just about money, it's about pushing back hard against the media machine. And he's not backing down without swinging. Then there's the conspiracy clown show. While all this real-world courtroom drama unfolds, the internet has gone crazy with all kinds of theories. Simply put, Diddy's name is getting tossed around in the wildest corners of the web. Let's start with the big one. People online are serious that Elon Musk is hiding a Diddy and Epstein client list, just waiting to be released. At this point, there's no proof. Reuters looked into it, and the list doesn't exist, but looking at how this case has played out, anything could happen. And it doesn't stop there. AFP ran down a list of fake drama that's been circulating, which includes AI-generated songs, doctored celebrity photos, and deep fake recordings. One fake track, supposedly sung by Justin Bieber, was titled, "I Lost Myself at a Diddy Party." Even the vocals were fake.
Lost myself at a Diddy party. Didn't know that's how it goes. I was in it for a new Ferrari, but it cost me way more than my soul.
Then came an AI-edited image of Diddy, Trump, and Epstein hanging out, which was totally made up. But what if it actually happened and the world never knew about it? Think about it. Plus there's more. A supposed FBI confession tape where Hillary Clinton admits to witnessing a freak-off party, and guess what? The voice wasn't even hers. It was AI generated according to NewsGuard, and yet these fakes keep spreading like wildfire. There's even one post that claimed House Leader Hakeem Jeffries was seen at communist-themed hosted by Diddy. That's a real Facebook hoax. Sure, fact checkers at Lead Stories shut it down fast, pointing out that Combs never even mentioned Jeffrey, let alone accused him of anything. But then again, Diddy has managed to do so much under everybody's nose. So is that really that impossible? Even casual photos, including total white normal pics from industry parties, have been twisted by Twitter detectives into evidence of some twisted conspiracy. Some posts claim Diddy was Epstein's best friend. Others have gone even further, saying he was Epstein's secret son. Not a shred of proof, of course, but people are eating it up. Then there's 50 Cent, who's turned into the internet's messiah. He's out here posting memes of Diddy and Epstein riding motorcycle, or fake clips of Diddy slathered in baby oil in prison. But fans are living for it, especially because these are all real possibilities that could have transpired in the dark. Even Donald Trump Jr. jumped in with a bizarre campaign season claim.
A few people were saying I was this violent character, just because I was breaking people's jaws and arms, and look at me, I'm like,
He said Diddy's arrest was timed to brainwash celebrities into endorsing Kamala Harris. He claimed these stars were on a secret Diddy party list, or even Epstein's client roster. At this point, what we're watching online is a digital fever dream, with AI hoaxes, deep fakes, and wild Reddit theories, all swirling around real legal issues. The court case is complicated, dark, and still unfolding, but everybody believes that some of the unbelievable truths are yet to be disclosed. Some folks still believe Diddy's getting framed. Others are convinced he's the villain of the decade. One thing's clear, nobody really knows what's true anymore, so while the courts sort through the hard facts, the world is waiting to hear about the next big reveal that may shatter whatever truth we know about the entirety of Hollywood.